Hello, and that was a weird hello. Hello, and welcome back to the Hot Mess Medium podcast. I'm your host, of course, Natasha Mack. Um, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm an evidential psychic medium. I am a mom of four beautiful children. I'm a wifey to my husband, Ryan. We've been together for like an eternity now because I got married at 19 and had babies young. I was a teen mom, and and then we just kept having babies. It just didn't stop. So yeah, we have four. Um and we have like so many cats, and we have two big dogs, and we have chickens and one rooster now. And right now, so okay, I'm Canadian, and we actually just had Canadian Thanksgiving because we do things a little differently around here. Apparently we have, Thanksgiving in October, and then everyone in the US has Thanksgiving in November, which is so interesting, you guys. Yeah, I wonder why that is. I should Google that. I kind of am really curious why we do Thanksgiving in two separate months, and maybe I'm going to sound like a complete idiot because I don't know why. But that's okay. I don't care if if people think that I should know that, There's just certain things I don't know, and then there's a lot of things that I do know. So anyways, aside from that, so also it is like officially fall here. Oh my God, the wood stove is officially lit. It is cold, and it has been so rainy and damp and uncomfortable. So I was so grateful. Yesterday, my husband, he lit the stove, and now it's like just so cozy in my house. Um, and I love it. I love the feeling of wood heat. I grew up with that, and I'm so happy that and grateful that I have that. Um, and it just helps make those damp, cold, gloomy days better for some reason. It really does. So, also, I am just loving all the colors of the leaves. A lot of the leaves have fallen, but I love that too. I love the look of like all of the colorful leaves in my driveway, and just all over the place. That to me is my favorite. It smells so freaking good. Maybe that makes me weird, but I love the smell of the dead leaves on the ground. It smells so good. Um, so yeah, right now the kids are excited for Halloween shopping. They really want to go and get their costume. So I think I'm actually gonna check out the dollar store with them. I went to Dollarama a few weeks ago. Yeah, here in Canada we have Dollarama. I know like other people might have like Dollar Tree or Dollar General, like other different, like, I think they're all kind of the same. But anyways, around here it's Dollarama. And when I went there, I was like, there is literally an entire aisle that looks like Spirit Halloween. Like they have masks and what do you call that? Wigs and costumes. Like they have all these accessories. So I just thought it would be so fun if I took the kids there. Also save a little bit of money at the same time because it's 4 kids that I'm buying costumes for. And they can like pick out their own stuff. Like they can create their own costume. And I thought that would be really fun. So we'll see if the kids also think that's really fun. We will see about that. Either way, we are definitely getting into the Halloween spirit. I actually got my nails done, and I got little ghosts on my nails, and they're so cute. I got like black French tips, and they're kind of pointy, which I really like the look of that. And yeah, I got like little ghosts on there. So really excited about that. Okay, so enough small talk. I just kind of wanted to like get the energy flowing and just share some random things about, what's going on in my life right now. Um, so this episode and the point of this episode is, I think, to do some belief shifting. Oh, by the way, once in a while you might hear this because I talk with my hands so much, and I am recording in my truck once again. And but this time the windows are closed, so and not open because it's cold outside, and so my nails every once in a while will hit the glass, so you're gonna hear that. Also, another reason they are closed is so that no praying mantis jump into the car with me like last week. If you missed that episode, a praying mantis, yeah, literally flew into the truck with me, and it's so weird because at first I thought it was a bird flying in, but then there was like no craziness. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it was just a leaf. And it had flown like behind me. So I was like, yeah, it's just a leaf. I don't even need to look, right? But then the leaf, or so I thought, flew onto my leg, and it turned out to be a praying mantis. So then I ended up channeling a message from the praying mantis because I do not believe in coincidence. And anytime, an animal crosses my path, especially if I'm doing like a teaching or, like a training for my students, or I am, of course, recording a podcast episode, then I take that as, it's an animal guide coming through to share its medicine with us. And so I tune into what that medicine is and share those messages. So that is what I did for the praying mantis. And there's actually a really beautiful message attached to it. So I didn't end up channeling the message in the episode. It's funny because I said that I was going to do that at the end and then I totally forgot. But I did attach the message in the show notes or description box area of the previous episode. So, or for that episode, which was the previous episode to this one. Oh my God. Why do I have to overcomplicate everything? Okay. So now you know, and you can go and check that out if you would like. So far, no animals crossing my path as I am, sitting in my driveway right now. And also for those of you who don't know, I have this like long dirt road winding driveway. That's why I do it in my driveway. It's like totally secluded. It's beautiful. Like it's so pretty to look at. There's a spot where the sun peeks in. So I prefer to do my recordings out here versus in my bedroom. I've noticed lately that I need to get out of the house more. Yeah, I didn't know that this is where the episode was going, but this is whatever. We're just going to keep going with it. So I've been, like I said, noticing I need to get out of the house more. There was a long period of time where I swear I was like hiding at home, and when I worked, I was always working in the same spot, or I did change it up within the home, but still, like, even though that did help a little bit, changing up the scenery a little bit, being like in the home 24/7 was really starting to get to me mentally and emotionally. And so now I make sure that I get out of the house like at least once a day. And there is part of me that is a little bit, what's the word? I don't know what word I'm looking for, because it's not worried. I'm not worried about winter coming. I am maybe preparing or being mindful. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but one of those words when it comes to, winter coming, we're going to have more gloomy days, and that tends to affect me. And I don't know if I've ever talked about that on here. I like need sunshine. I might be like a houseplant. I really need sunshine. And when I don't get it for, a long period of time, when there's a lot of gloomy days, when there's a lot of, rain or whatever, um it starts to get to me a little bit. So I've been preparing with um lots of vitamin D. I'm taking other vitamins and minerals. Um, Getting outside, for fresh air is really important. I'm not as able to plant my bare feet on the ground, which I also love doing. It's so good for grounding. I find it so supportive. Um, but it's getting colder, and again, it's like constantly wet outside. So, um, yeah, I'm just like, I know winter's coming, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to hibernate too much, and I don't want to go back into old patterns, um, of hibernating too much because too much of the hibernation just was not good for me. So I don't want to say I want to find balance with it, because I find that word balance is it's like something we're constantly chasing that we never ever achieve, and I don't even think as humans we are meant to achieve balance. Um, what I'm seeing in my mind, like as I'm talking about balance, is like, in cartoons when, there's a dog and someone tied like maybe there's like a headband on their head with this stick, and then there's a string and a treat tied at the end of it, and they could like never get it because it's actually like, they're like trying to chase it, but it's like just there out in front of them. That's the vision that I'm getting, and I feel like that's what happens when we try to chase and achieve balance, So it's almost like we need to find balance when it comes to finding balance. Oh my God. Though, like, do you know what I'm trying to say? We need to find balance when it comes to finding balance. Um, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but going back to like I don't even know if I mentioned this in the beginning now. I don't know if I mentioned this, but before, I tuned in, sorry, before I hit record, I took a moment to tune into how I could be of service and, what this episode could be about. And all I heard was belief shifting. And I know we did a little bit of that in last week's episode, because that was the October forecast, basically, right? It was like messages and guidance for the month of October. But maybe this is kinda going to be like an extension of that. So let's see where this goes. And as I said that, what I'm hearing is like, what is something that you've been telling yourself you need to do or have before this could happen? Right? There's something that you are working towards or wanting, and maybe there's this story or limiting belief that is that, well, before that could happen, I need to first do X, Y, and Z, or I need to achieve X, Y, and Z, right? And so an example that's coming through is that we have a bathroom on our main floor that really needs to be completely gutted and redone. Well, bathroom renos are obviously, a big deal. And it's one of those things that there's potential there for it to turn into an even bigger project than you'd imagine, because you just don't know until you start opening things up, right? So anyways, this is something that I've been telling myself can't happen until, we have this amount of money saved. Or in my mind, it's so interesting because it's not that I am thinking of an actual number for like how much it's going to cost. In my mind, it's such an astronomical amount, and it seems like such an astronomical project that it's something that I've been thinking is going to be so far in the future. Okay. And so I think it was last week, I found a card that a friend who owns his own like construction company, he does renos, he does carpentry and, like stuff like in homes or whatever. I found his card, and I just had this weird inner knowing, or like this message come through to have him come over to do quotes. Because interestingly enough, he had given me that card last year, but I actually not ran into him. We were at the same party a few weekends ago. And he was talking about how, he just went to do a quote for someone. I can't remember what it was for, but anyways. So when I came across his card, because it was in like my old winter jacket, and I was doing some cleaning with that, with all of our winter jackets, because obviously we got to get ready for that. So I found it, and I was like hearing in my mind to have him come over and do a quote so that you can start to actually prepare for that, and have a better idea in your mind of what is it going to entail, and like what is this actually going to cost? Because you keep saying that it's like so far in the future, but what if it actually isn't? Or even if it is, just you knowing and like having that number of what it is that you need is going to support you with welcoming in that amount of money to make it happen. And so it's like, whoa, that is so true. And that's how I've done so many things before. I wasn't waiting and putting it off and off and off. It's like I would take action and trust and know that the money would come. Like I've done this for so many things, and it's always worked out. Yeah, I mean, I could honestly create a whole freaking episode on stories around that, but anyways, for now, I will leave you with that, with just, yeah, this example that is coming through. So with that being said, is there anything popping up for you as you're listening to this? Because when you listen to my episodes, I want you to trust that your intuition is working with you, right? We're doing this together, and there's going to be insights that flow through you. There's going to be, nudges, ideas, prompts, and things like that for you also. So anyways, what I'm hearing now is, okay, there's like things that we're not in control of, but what are you in control of? Like, what action steps can you take forward to start showing energetically that you are doing your part towards this, right? Because there might be some things that you're putting off, or thinking that it's so in the future or so far away from now, or even really up high and out of reach. Sometimes we actually have this vision of where our desires are placed outside of us. And so even kind of like tune into that a little bit. Like, where is this thing that is far away? Do you see it really far ahead? Do you see it way later on? Is this something that you see happening when you are a completely different person? Is this something that, again, you're putting so far out of reach for yourself, when you can actually start to call it in closer to you. You can start to bring it closer to you by starting to take certain action steps now, right? That's called collapsing time around attracting your desires and like really opening yourself up to receive them. I know in last week's episode we talked about, playing in the realm of possibilities. Like, what else is possible here? What if in your mind the path towards it is so narrow, right? It's so narrow and it's so like just this one way, this one path, when actually there are so many possibilities. There are so many different ways that this could come in, or this can come to you, or you can receive this. And now what's coming through, as I've said that, it's reminding me of an old video I watched of Amanda Francis, who is like a self-made multimillionaire, basically. She calls herself the money queen, and, she's all about teaching women how to attract and manifest more money. So for a while, like I was watching her videos because I really enjoyed them. And I do love how she talks about, praying and, praying for your next steps, praying for what you desire, and like using and trusting your intuition and faith and things like that. Like those are all things that I am very aligned with, like super, super aligned with. So those things I enjoy about her. That sounded weird. Those things I enjoy about her. Oh my God, I enjoy about her teachings, I resonate with those parts of her teachings. Okay, there we go. Let's keep going. So on this video, she was answering someone's question about like, what do I do when I'm on like sick leave and I can't, receive more money through my work. Like it's very limiting. I'm on sick leave. I'm only getting paid the certain amount. What do you do then? And she's like, well, why are you limiting yourself to money only coming through from your job? Like money can come in so many different ways. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can go to the mail and there could be a check there for you. You could have this idea to create something and you create it and bam, money comes from that. Or maybe you receive like an inheritance, or, she was just going on in all these different ways that money can come in. And she talks about like opening up, or I don't know if she talks about opening up different channels necessarily for, money to come in, but she talks about being open to these other possibilities of what can happen and not limiting yourself to, no, it's only this one way, right? So anyways, that's what this conversation reminded me of. So for those of you, you're running a business or you're working a 9 to 5, what if there are other possibilities and ways for this money to come to you, right? What if it doesn't have to be this, or all or nothing energy that is constantly like showing up? What if there are actually all these different opportunities available to you? It's a matter of being more open to them. Well, how do we be more open to them? Let me tune into that right now. I love how when it comes through, it's like, okay, well, that sounds really easy, but maybe it is. Like, maybe it is meant to be easy. All I heard was you starting to affirm and state and decide, right? That energy of deciding. I am deciding. I am open to other possibilities for financial abundance to come in. And this doesn't just have to be with money, by the way. Like, I know we ended up on this topic of money and like financial abundance, but this can honestly go with anything. This can go for clients. This can go for like invitations and opportunities. Like, what if it doesn't have to only, be with Instagram? What if it doesn't have to only be with Facebook? What if What if there are some opportunities coming to you through word of mouth or locally, right? The people that you meet in person. If you're looking for a new job that is better than the one that you have, and you think, oh, I can only find it by searching on this one platform, or I'm only going to be able to get it this way. Notice how you're telling yourself those stories of how it can only be this or it can only be that, versus, you know what? I've decided I am open to other possibilities. I am open to other, unexpected and expected ways of this happening for me. And just starting to like put that out there. That's how you become more open. You're putting that out there. And the other thing is like, make sure you're doing your part. So this goes back to what I was saying earlier with my story with the bathroom renovation. My part would be to start taking that action forward by calling the, I can't remember his title, like the construction guy, the friend, calling him, asking him to come over to give me a quote, right? That is my part. God can't do that for me. The universe can't do that for me. I have to do my part. So remember that when you put those things out there, because the bathroom reno is something I definitely put out there. I was like, okay, like, when is this going to happen? Like, I'm imagining it being done and, looking amazing or whatever. But it's like, okay, I got a nudge to go ahead and take that step and make that call. And so for you, what is that next step? What is it that you are in control of? What nudges are you getting, to take some sort of action that you can actually take? And as soon as I said that, I looked at my phone and it says 11:11. So there you go. Put that out there. Become open to receive, in these different ways. Expect miracles. Continue to play in the realm of possibilities. And decide you are open to these other expected and unexpected ways of receiving what it is that you desire. That seems like the perfect place to end this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But first, I want to make sure that you are following me over on Instagram and on Facebook, because I am in those places. All the things are Hot Mess Medium. On Facebook, I think it's Natasha Mack Hot Mess Medium. So yeah, check me out there on Facebook. I tend to do more live mediumship demonstrations for free. On Instagram is where I'm posting all the things and sharing stories and all of that. I'm a lot more fun over there. But definitely follow me in both places. If you'd like to get on my email list, I would love to have you there, because that's where I share the Hot and Messy newsletter, the weekly newsletter with, spirit message of the week. That's where I will share, of course, the new podcast episodes, updates, things like that. And then, of course, if you're interested in working with me, whether you want to develop your mediumship abilities or you want to develop your intuition and intuitive channeling abilities, you can go ahead and check out what I have going on in the offers, in the show notes, or you can always send me a message on Instagram to see what I have available right now. So either way, I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you've enjoyed this episode. It always means so much to me when you guys let me know, if you found this helpful, if this was supportive, if you really enjoyed this episode. So don't be shy, okay? Yeah, okay, I think that's it. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for listening to this. As I said in, my last episode, when I do these, I seriously feel like I'm talking to my best friends. I feel like we are having coffee together or whatever, and we're just, having fun, having a heart to heart. So I love this. I adore you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you next time. Bye.